So Black Clover is just one of those anime or manga that gets demonized for literally no reason. Back when Black Clover's anime released nearly a year ago, it immediately became something that people loved to hate. Numerous YouTubers have made videos saying how terrible the anime is, saying that it is poorly done, and the franchise itself of Black Clover is a shameless copy of Naruto and My Hero Academia. Now, a lot of these great big YouTubers' claims ended up being mostly wrong or misinformed. If I had a penny for every time someone made an incorrect critique of Black Clover, I would be a rich man. Of course, people can still have incorrect critiques and still rightly dislike the show. It just usually means they actually disliked it for other reasons. But this isn't a great thing because Black Clover basically immediately started off with loads of negative press, which caused many people to not watch the show. Also, the anime really didn't have a great start in terms of quality, and of course, there were blocks in this entire anime so far. It's 49 episodes at the time of me recording this. There's blocks of a few episodes where it sucks. But overall, I love it, and a lot of the critiques are wrong. The negative press really caused many people to not watch the show. Now, there are many false complaints. I can go through, but that would be too much for a single video. I'm just going to go through a few. I'm just going to be focusing on the complaint that Black Clover is a My Hero Academia and a Naruto clone, or a fusion of the two. I know many people also call it a ripoff of Fairy Tail, but that is less referred to than My Hero or Naruto, and also I haven't seen Fairy Tail, so I can't attest to debunking those claims. So this video is going to be based off of the common critiques that Black Clover is a fusion clone of My Hero and Naruto. So I think the biggest claim is talking about the main character, Asta, and how he is somehow extremely similar to both Midoriya and Naruto Uzumaki. First off, I'm going to go on one of the biggest things that people use. Asta wants to be the Wizard King, the strongest wizard and one of the leaders of the kingdom. Naruto wants to be the Hokage, the strongest ninja in the village, who is also the leader of the village. Sure, these are somewhat similar titles, but it's just a common character motivation. Did Naruto copy One Piece because Luffy wanted to be the Pirate King? Did they copy Dragon Ball Z because Goku wanted to be the strongest fighter? Also, the Hokage and the Wizard King are just inherently different. The Hokage is the undisputed leader of the village. There is no other leader, and becoming the Hokage is based off of multiple factors. The Wizard King is more of a co-king with the actual king. In fact, it seems as if the actual king has more pull within the kingdom than the Wizard King does. And the title of the Wizard King is based off of merit alone, not the trust of the people, not your charisma. It is how good you are and what you have accomplished. This already sets up a difference between these titles. Not only that, but character motivation for these titles are different from the get-go. Asta wants to be the Wizard King so that he can give his friends and family of his entire poor village a good life. He can protect them and give them good money. Naruto's initial wish to be the Hokage is for selfish reasons, to prove everyone wrong. Sure, his views and personal thoughts on becoming the Hokage morph a bit further in this franchise, as he also wishes to have the title to protect the village, but initially his goals are different. Also, this is technically a different reason here. Another complaint that I see a lot is that Asta and Naruto look exactly alike. Really? These two look nothing alike. You can't even call them brothers or cousins based off of looks alone. If spiky hair and a headband makes Asta a Naruto clone, then blue eyes and a beard make me a Chris Hemsworth clone. Yeah, that's not how it works. The main complaint number 2 is that Asta's power is ripped off from My Hero Academia's Midoriya, as both Midoriya and Asta were born without their own universe's version of powers. Asta has no magic, Midoriya doesn't have a quirk. Okay, sure, a similarity, but magic in the Black Clover verse and quirks in My Hero verse are different in abundance and types. It is objectively more of an anomaly and a hardship for Asta to have no magic, rather than Midoriya having no quirk. This is because in the Black Clover world, Asta is the only person to have ever been born without magic. Sure, some people have little mana or control over their magic, but Asta is the only person that has 0 mana or magic. In Deku's world, 20% of the population has no quirks. While that is the minority, that's still 20%. If you are in school and you have a school filled with 1,000 students, 200 of them are not going to have quirks. Which means that it isn't anything crazy if someone is born without one, and it's not even that bad. The My Hero world is more evolved and advanced. You can still live a normal life and a good life without a quirk. While in Asta's world, if you even have low magic, you can't do anything. Most daily tasks are based on using magic. They use magic for everything. Not only that, but you'll be ostracized by the nation or the village for having such low mana because the nobles hate the commoners. Now imagine having literally zero magic, how much everybody would hate you or make fun of you. While their situations were similar, the differences actually make Asta's origin even more interesting. Midoriya is not prepared for the time when he actually gets his quirk passed down to him. It takes him months for him to be able to use 5% of One for All without damaging his limb. Meanwhile, Asta has spent every single day of his life preparing for the day he could finally get his magic. This gave him extremely high speed and strength, where a high-level captain thought that Asta was so fast he was using a high-level speed magic. But it was just Asta's actual physical speed, no magic assistance here. By the time that Asta actually received his grimoire, which gave him an anti-magic sword instead of actual magic. And because of Asta preparing himself, he was strong enough to wield the extremely heavy sword and fast enough to catch the former Magic Knight off guard and defeat him quite easily in battle. So while this starts off as a similarity, the way that Asta progresses with his powerless body really proves that it is too different to be a clone. In fact, Asta is still yet to even have an ounce of magic in his body, unlike Deku, who now has a quirk, one of the most overpowered quirks in the entire My Hero Academia universe. One for All is strong, no doubt about it. Now the next complaint is that Asta and Yuno is a shameless copy of Naruto and Sasuke. Why? Honestly, I do not get this one. This is almost as bad as a claim as that Naruto and Asta look alike. The only valid points here is that you have the main protagonist as two little runts, and then Yuno and Sasuke as the dark-haired, naturally talented rival. The comparisons pretty much end here though. I have already showed the differences between Asta and Naruto. Another one I thought of that people do compare though is both have demons inside of them between Asta and Naruto. Although we don't really know if there's a demon inside of Asta or a demon within his grimoire. The grimoire option is more likely though, and Asta was attained through much different measures. But Yuno and Sasuke are quite different as well. Yuno wasn't raised by a rich and successful family. He was raised in the same village of Hajj alongside Asta. He was poor his entire life, and has no revenge story like Sasuke. Yuno actually wants to be the Wizard King from the beginning, and the relationship of Asta and Yuno is far more friendly. And Yuno hasn't abandoned the village to get revenge. He actually loves the village and will protect everyone within as much as he can. The relationship is just different. Way too different for a comparison. Asta knows that he'll become the Wizard King, but he also hopes that Yuno becomes the Wizard King, and he knows that Yuno can, and vice versa with Yuno. He knows that Asta is good enough to be the Wizard King. The Asta-Yuno relationship is far different from the relationship between Naruto and Sasuke to call this even close to being a clone. Not even the worlds between these three verses are that similar. It's so obvious that I don't really need to do much explanation. But anyways guys, these are the main complaints that I have seen shouted by people that are just misinformed. Of course there are criticisms that don't have to do with Black Clover being a clone, and I will go over some of those in the future videos and why they're not necessarily valid criticisms either. Again, you can dislike something, criticize it, but have your criticisms still be wrong, and if you get your criticisms explained to you and why they were wrong, you think, oh, it actually isn't that bad, or you think, oh, well, I still don't like it, I just have to figure out why I don't like it. So, yeah, a lot of these criticisms are just absolute BS. There's a lot more that are BS as well, and that's why I'm going to do it in future videos. Black Clover is just unnecessarily hated a lot, and also, it gets hated a lot warranted, because there is parts where the anime is terrible. And as a huge Black Clover fan, right now, it's my second favorite anime and manga. I agree, there are some moments in the anime where it's terrible. The manga is pretty great overall. But yeah, the anime does suck sometimes. But anyways guys, let me know what you think about this video. Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me? Now, I understand if you disagree with me, but I still don't see it, how Black Clover is a clone of My Hero or Naruto. But anyways guys, please do leave a like and comment and subscribe, turn on notifications, join my Discord, and follow me on Twitter. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. Peace out.